we started I-10. We set this goal of, like, if we could get 30 companies involved and interested by the end of the first 8 months, which would have been the end of 2008, we'd say, hey, this is going to be something that maybe it's worth continuing to support. I had a little bit of a suspicion that wouldn't be out of the question, but a lot of other people really felt at that time that there really wasn't any significant IT entrepreneurship going on in St. Louis at all. And that view, interestingly enough, proved to be also the view that most of the entrepreneurs had. So I would go around and meet with an individual entrepreneur, and they would tell me, yeah, we're trying to do this kind of cool stuff, but there's nobody here in town who understands what we're doing. There's nobody who, gets it. Investors, if I'm gonna, at some point I'm gonna need investors, I'm gonna have to go out to the West Coast to find investor who'd be interested in putting money into our deal.
Everybody wants to get to that investor pitch. It's what you see on Shark Tank on TV. It's what everybody sort of thinks of as the prototypical tech startup experience. What we really want to investigate is, how does your business model scale? Do you really need to go out for this type of investment, or can you go straight to your customers? Can you work on developing your product? Can you work on cultivating customers? Maybe customer finance your way, or create maybe some debt financing opportunities where you don't necessarily need to give up equity in order to scale and grow. And for a lot of entrepreneurs, that's very eye-opening to re-examine that, because they think of a very sort of narrow path to market. And we really encourage them to think through that really strongly before they move forward with any other decisions around garnering investment.
And then I also talked to investors, and I asked them if they invested in tech companies, and they said, well, yeah, but there's nothing around St. Louis. We've got an affiliation with these West Coast investors. They help us find the deals out there, so we're investing in companies out on the West Coast. So right away, I knew that there was something a little fishy here.
Serving the entrepreneur as our customer is first and foremost. Hopefully that gets us the funding we need to continue to offer our services for free and without taking equity in companies. But I think other entities, if we can keep that framework in mind, we can start creating the collaborations, the formal kind of connections we need. There's a lot of great informal goodwill now, but I think entrepreneurs still stumble upon, how do I progress through the ecosystem and find the help that I need? We've been playing a role of leading them through that, even if it's not our services, and I think that's something that the rest of the ecosystem could work better at, and what we're happy to take a leadership role in helping make happen.
So what I did with the entrepreneurs, first of all, is after I met with 20 or 25 of them, and they were all pretty much telling me the same story, that they felt they were the only ones in town. I invited them to an event. This was our first official I-10 event. It was at IT Enterprises, which is the incubator that is up near the airport that UMSL owns. And I got them in the cafeteria. I bought a couple of 6-packs of beer. And we went around the room. They stood in a circle. We went around the room. Each one of them introduced themselves and said what they were doing. And you could just feel the energy just start to rise. And by the time, it was like mayhem then, and the roof was lifting off the place. Everybody all of a sudden realized they weren't alone.
We've been at this for a while, and I think if you look at our long-term success stories and ask the companies directly, they're going to tell you some really good things about I-10. I think of us as the mortar between the bricks, if you will. Nobody really pays much attention to it, but it really does hold some of that ecosystem together.
Looking back, it was kind of a seminal moment. It was kind of that spirit that I felt among those entrepreneurs, like recognizing that they were not alone, that there were other people here in St. Louis. And I think that really inspired me for a lot of whatever else we've done with I-10.